In today's media, offense is a one-way street. There are people that are allowed to be offended, and there are people who, quite frankly, are not allowed to be offended. Now, if you fit certain criteria determined by American progressives, you are allowed to be offended. And just about everything, down to simply disagreeing, is considered offensive, believe me. And it gets tiring. An outrage cycle where every benign word or innocent remark is construed as horrible racism or sexism or homophobia or something. Or in some cases, an attack on children or the elderly or victims of violence. I mean, take your pick. The point is that they love being offended, and they love telling you that you, a conservative or a Christian or a white dude from the South, are not permitted to be offended. And it's especially true of Christians these days. As a Christian, you're simply not afforded the right to find something sacrilegious or heretical or blasphemous. And those in the media just love poking this particular angle. They consistently go out of their way to rile up Christians by being as ridiculously offensive as possible, and then all with the goal of turning around and wagging their finger. You're a part of the demographic that is not allowed to be offended because of the Crusades or something. That's actually been an argument. The latest example is a story on CNN. Columnist John Blake wrote this article about how the story of Jesus' death and resurrection is the first. Y'all want to sit down, grab a table. It's the first Me Too moment. You see, it was women that first discovered the empty tomb, which, haha, feminism, that Jesus had abandoned with his resurrected body, and no one believed them. And since no one believed them, patriarchy, because that was the entire point. Not that Jesus had risen from the dead or that people had a hard time believing it. No, the real story is that men are the same jerks that they've always been, and these women should have sued for slander. If only Ashley Judd had been alive at the time, or what's her face, Gloria Allred. That's right. That's who I was thinking of. If only they had been alive at the time. That actually was an article at CNN, how Easter became a Me Too movement. It misses the most obvious point about Easter. Yeah, well, I know. I told you to sit down or grab something, grab a strong surface for that.